for tuning in to the program, The Total You, with me, your hostess, Evangelist Fareeth Wallace. We're under the direction of Abundant Faith Cathedral, where the pastor is Bishop Joel T. Wallace. Now remember, The Total You is about your mind, body, soul, and spirit, because why? God is concerned about the whole you. And so we're talking about topics that are of concern to you. And one of the topics that's really aggravating a lot of people right now, and even before the pandemic, was finances. So I have a special guest with me today, and her name is Ginger Murphy. So please introduce yourself.
So I'm Ginger Humphrey, and my company is Jack's Financial Services, and we are a total financial educational business. So we work with credit, we work with we do life insurance, we do credit. There's an opportunity for you to actually come into the business and be a business owner. We help you with taxes if taxes are a problem. We help you invest. So we are a full-fledged financial educational service.
Okay, now go back. Jax. What is Jax?
Jax is actually, I have twins, and my twins are Jillian and Xavier. So I just took the first letters of their names and I came up with Jax Financial Services, and that's what I've been for the last 20 plus years.
And it's been 20 years for this really?
It
That's
has.
Awesome.
So I actually started out back in 2000. And I was doing mortgages and real estate.
Okay.
And I had my own mortgage and real estate company.
Okay.
And my mom is a realtor.
Okay.
And we were really like pretty much a one-stop mom and pop shop.
Okay.
And so we did people with less than perfect credit.
Okay.
And we were actually helping them qualify for home financing.
Okay.
So when the market crashed, so did my business.
Okay.
So needless to say, after that, I just tried to sustain myself. I was a single mom with twins.
Okay.
So I was always in the world of finance.
Okay.
So when my twins actually graduated from high school in 2018,
okay,
then I came back into the business and I started my business all over.
Okay.
So it has been credit and mortgages, real estate, and it has always been that over a 20-year span.
Now, I'm interested in this part. It says you had to go out because of the pandemic. Was it difficult getting back into this because of financial things?
Well, not just the pandemic. When the market crashed in 2008, my business crashed.
Okay.
So I lost business, I lost homes, I lost cars, it was a whole total, I guess I had to start over from scratch.
Okay.
So with that being said, I had kind of braced myself for like that 2 or 3 year period thinking, okay, the mortgage industry will come back and then I'll be able to kick myself into overdrive and restart. And that didn't happen.
Okay.
So with that being said, I had to just went out and got a job. So I always did accounting and finance because that is always what my background has been.
Okay.
So then in 2018, when my twins graduated from high school, I was like, okay, I'm an empty nester now, and now I got all this time. I'll go back to my passion.
Now, I'm going to say this, please. Did you kick them out the house?
I didn't, but they left to go to college at 18.
Okay.
And it's 4 years later. My son graduated in December of last year, and my daughter is graduating May 6th of this year.
Okay.
So I've been an empty nester, and with that being said, I was able to get my business back up and running full time.
Okay. Now, I'm going to ask, are you out of your home or are you in a specific building?
I'm actually out of my home right now.
Okay.
With the pandemic, I was thinking of doing the brick and mortar. But I just kind of like do the Zoom and I do Teams and I build my relationships there.
Okay.
I would love to do a brick and mortar, but right now everyone's working out of their home. So I've just stayed there because it's work for me right now, and that's where I am.
I love these Zooms. Really. I'm sorry. But even with the churches, we were not in the brick and mortar church anymore. So we started doing online services. And Zoom meetings coming, here we go. Facebook, here we go. So it's something that we've really adjusted to.
Yes, we have. Yeah.
Okay. It's not expensive.
Not at all. It's not as expensive as the brick and mortar.
Right.
And there are tax benefits to you having that home-based business.
See?
So with that being said, I think it's kind of worked out.
Okay.
I miss having that brick and mortar.
Okay.
I like the interaction that I got with my people coming into my office.
Okay.
You kind of they were more comfortable coming in and seeing you.
Okay.
But with the pandemic and everything has pretty much changed. So you have to just pivot and make that transition. Okay. So I do the Zoom and the Teams. Okay. Sometimes if I have a client who wants to meet in person, we'll do Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts or something like that.
So they're more comfortable. Mm-hmm. All right. You mentioned at the beginning, you said something about being a partner with the company. So what is that about?
So what happens is my company itself is Jack's Financial Services.
Okay.
So I actually broker my credit out through a company called MWR, and that is Make Wealth Real.
Okay.
So that is where we do our credit aspect of the business.
Okay.
So with that being said, if there is, like myself, someone who wants to come on and get their credit repaired,
okay,
but they also enjoy their results and they want to become a partner in the business, they can actually become a partner in the business. So you can come on as a customer getting your credit repaired, or you can come on as a person getting your credit repaired, and then also you can buy into the business and become a broker.
And make money.
And make money. So you can repair your credit and make money at the same time.
That's an awesome deal.
It is. It is. And that's actually how I got into the business, the credit aspect of it.
Okay.
So with the pandemic and the crash of the market, I was a single mother. My credit fell. I lost everything.
Okay.
And I tried to start repairing my credit myself. So I was sending out letters and I was like, how come I'm not responding? They're not responding. And when I say they, I mean the credit bureau.
Yes.
Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax.
Okay.
Well, little did I know that there was a language that you have to speak in order to get them to respond to you.
Okay.
So I was up late night, one night on Facebook, and I found this company, found a platform. And from there, I made a phone call. I had a conversation.
Okay.
They started to repair my credit. And then after I got the results, then I became a partner in the business. And with that being said, it's maybe like 2.5 years later, and I'm still going. I had always worked with credit when I had my own business because you need to know about the credit in order to get the people approved for financing with the mortgage. So with that being said, it wasn't a huge stretch.
Okay.
It was an excellent transition. And from there, that's where I springboarded.
A lot of us don't understand what this credit thing is. So how can you explain what the credit scores are actually? Can you go through that?
Exactly. So you have 3 scores, and those scores come from TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian.
Okay.
Your credit score is kind of like your digital footprint. It tells companies if they feel like they can trust you to give you their money and that you have the credibility to pay it back.
Okay.
So with that being said, perfect credit is anywhere from 800 above. Right now, if you're not at a 620 or a 680, anything below that is kind of considered bad credit or less than perfect credit.
Okay.
And with that being said, you know, bad credit costs money, and that's what people don't understand.
Yes.
So your interest rate is higher.
Yes.
Right now, if you're going to get car insurance, they're scoring you on that. Your car insurance can be higher. I mean, even now, they pull your credit for a cell phone, and that even determines if you're going to have a down payment on a cell phone or not. So with that being said, there is money in bad credit. And once you know that there is money in bad credit, why would you want to pay that extra? Why not fix your credit?
Right.
And then have perfect credit. And you can sometimes go in and you don't have to put a down payment on a car or a cell phone or anything like that.
It is really bad because a lot of people think, okay, wait, you're already down and out or at your last, and then the people are piling more on there. They're increasing your interest and making you jump through even more hoops in order to get their money.
Yes.
And then they're making you pay back more money on top of it. So yes. It's better. So we need some tips on how to improve our credits.
So first,
I got you.
So with that being said, that's where I come into play.
Okay.
So with that being said, what we do is we educate our borrower or our consumer on their credit.
Okay.
So we tell you how to maintain your score.
Okay.
And that is paying your bills on time, which for some people that is a task.
Yes.
Because what if you lose your job and you're not able to pay your bills on time?
Right.
Well, those are some things that can be negotiated. You can actually call your credit card company and say, hey, I'm out of work right now and I can't afford this payment, but is there something that we can work out?
Okay.
And there is. When you actually sign up to get credit cards, you can actually get coverage on that. It's a protection plan that they have that covers you in case you lose your job or in case something happens.
Do you have to pay extra for that? Sorry about
that.
It
is, you don't have to pay extra. All you have to do is ask them. And it is included in that payment every month. So let's just say you have Visa. You can call Visa and say, hey, I got laid off work and I need this. Is there anything that you can do to help me? They will offer you that protection plan. And what it does is sometimes it'll cut down that interest rate. Sometimes it cuts down that credit card payment in half. Sometimes it will actually spread it out over 9 months, over 12 months. So it's just a lingo and a language that you have to know. You don't always have to fret, but we do because we don't have the information and we don't know.
And a lot of people have gotten because we don't know. We don't know. And believe it or not, when a person has credit and they don't know, they don't want to call the person who, I don't want to call them. I can't pay them. And we go hide instead of trying to talk to the people. And see, we've got to learn, no, come on out. I can't do this. Can you help me?
And a lot of times, the creditor is more than willing to help you. You may be able to just defer a payment. You never know. That's just like if you have a car payment and you get into trouble. You can actually call some car companies and say, hey, I can't afford to make my payment this month. Is there something that you can do for me? They can actually take one of those payments and put on the back. They can offer you a deferment. There is just a language that we have to have. You have to be open. You can't be scared. You can't run from it. Because once you start running, then that turns into a late pay. And then that late pay goes negative on your credit, which causes your credit score to fall, which causes you to go in collections. And then that takes you into a whole nother realm. So it's just, if you don't know, you don't know. But that is what I'm here for.
Thank you. Okay, so we got the credit scores and we know how to keep them above a certain point. So now what?
So once you get your credit score to above where, if it's 680 or 720 or whatever. So then most people are getting those scores up for a reason. So you want to purchase a home or you want to buy a car. Perfect. So then I can also help you with that. Right now, our company has a program and it's called the Rent with Option to Buy. Regardless of your credit score, we can help you get into a home that you qualify for off of your income. And then we'll purchase that home for you. You'll be living in that home. You'll be paying a lease on that home while we're working on your credit. And then once we get your credit score to where it can be to where you can actually get an approval to qualify to purchase that home, we'll sell the home to you.
Now I'm going to ask, how long does it actually take to get a person from a bad situation into a situation where they're acceptable?
Now everybody's different. Because if you have a bankruptcy on your credit, or if you have a tax lien on your credit, or if you have child support on your credit, or if you have student loans on your credit, everybody's.
I want them to repeat that because a lot of people don't realize that that's on their credit report.
Student loans are on your credit report. Student loans count against you. Student loans become derogatory. They do. We can help you negotiate payments on your student loans. They have programs out there right now where your student loans have been forgiven or are being forgiven. But you have to apply for that program in order to be able to get that to happen. A lot of people don't know that. So it's a language. You got to be educated on it. And that is what I'm here for.
Right. Okay, so now we've got ourselves situated. So we've got a better credit score. And we're going out and we're buying these new houses and we're buying these new cars and we're...
You got to maintain it.
Thank you.
You got to maintain it. So that means you're going to pay your bills on time. You're going to pay your bills ahead of time. I know that is not always in our economy right now a perfect situation. And people are like, well, just pay your bills on time. Well, things happen in life and you can't always just pay your bills on time. But there are conversations that you can have with that creditor and let them know that I'm facing hardship right now. And is there something that you can do to work with me?
Now, I'm going to ask because you mentioned earlier about how you got through the downturn in your business. They have also mentioned stuff about having an emergency fund. Do you suggest that or show them how to do that?
We can.
Okay.
But now here's the thing. Being realistic, I know that there was a time where I struggled and I didn't have an emergency fund.
Yes, I know.
There was a time where I struggled and I didn't have a job to have an emergency fund.
Okay.
But let's just say that you are blessed enough to be able to put a certain amount of reserves away. We show you how to do that. So you come to us, we take a look at where you are as far as your tax bracket, what you're taking in as far as your income goes, what your bills, what you're paying out versus what you're taking in, and we can actually help you set up a budget for that.
Okay, now, budget is a bad word sometimes, okay? But, you know, a lot of us's don't have bank accounts.
Yes, that is true.
And we don't know how to, we used to write checks, but we don't know how to budget for our cards that we're using. I mean, we go pay on these cards, and then the next thing you know, so do you offer, you said budget teachings or education? So
Yep. So we have a system for that. So we have a portal. You can go in, you can plug in exactly what you make every week. You can put in all of your bills that are paid out every week. And with that budget, it will create where you are, and it'll show you where you can be. It'll also tell you the amount of years that it'll take for you to get out of that debt. It'll also say, okay, well, we also help plan for retirement. Nobody thinks about retirement, but you should. There's a conversation that we also can have to help for retirement. So when I say we are a full-fledged financial education company, that is exactly where we are.
I want you to go through, you said you got your flyer here. Exactly what do you offer again?
So for on our credit portion, people have so many different things that fall on their credit. So we can help you remove a bankruptcy off your credit. Tax lien, repossessions, collections, student loans, medical bills. All of it is legal because there are certain laws that fall under the FCRA, the Credit Act, that are violating one's rights if they put certain things on your credit report. We just use the law to get those things leveraged off of your credit report. And then you go from there. Now, let me say this, just because those things are removed, it does not mean that you are not responsible for payment. You still have to pay those debts. If we find that those debts belong to you, we can even help you negotiate those payments. And in certain instances, once those debts have actually gone to the collection bureau, they've already been paid.
See? Come on.
They've already been paid. So most people say, well, I had this collection and I paid it and it stayed on my credit. Well, first of all, if it became a collection, that means that that debtor or that company that you actually had the debt with has already declared it a loss. So they've gotten paid off of it, and then they send you over to that collection company. And then that collection agency starts calling you because they're trying to get their money from you. So with that being said, when that collection company calls you, there is even a certain language that you speak to that collection company that lets them know, I'm not responsible. I'm not aware of any debt that I have with you. I don't think I'm responsible for that payment. But oftentimes we as consumers and not knowing, we say, okay. And because they tell us, okay, we got that, we just agree to it, and then we make the payment.
And they take that as a binding contract that you really owe this money. And so we've got,
Once they get you on the phone, and they get you to acknowledge that debt because that call is recorded. And then you say, they say, is this your debt? And you say, yes. And are you? And you say, yes. And is this your address? And you say, yes. And is this your social security number? And you say, yes. Then that binds you to that debt. But now, if they call you and you say, I have no knowledge of that debt, I don't owe any debt.
Right.
Well, I tell you what, can you please send that information to the address that you have on file?
Okay. Okay.
Well, you do not have to verify any information.
Ooh. See?
So it is a language and it's a lingo that goes with that. And if you don't know it, they know you don't know it, and then they've got you.
And they use it
against you. Exactly.
See, a lot of people go and they start paying the
collection agency. Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I'm going to ask, does that collection agency, can they put that back on your credit rating?
Once it's removed from your report,
they can't do it. But then because you're paying that collection agency, can they?
Well, let me say this. You don't always have to pay the collection agency.
Okay.
Because of the simple fact that you didn't sign that contract with the collection agency.
Right.
You signed it with the actual company, correct?
Right.
There's a language for that, and you got to know what it is. So with the things that we dispute off of the credit report, we have attorneys that work on behalf of our borrowers or behalf of our clients.
Okay.
And they do that whole entire disputing process.
Okay.
So, attorneys speak the language.
Yes.
And they get a different response.
Right.
As if opposed to you and I, if we were just going into. So that is the reason that our clients get results, because we have attorneys that are negotiating on the borrowers.
Now I'm going to ask, is there a fee for your services?
There is a fee for our service.
Okay.
There is a fee for our service.
And this is negotiable?
We have a set fee.
Okay.
But now here is the thing. Our credit repair portion of that service is actually free.
Okay.
So because we are full-fledged and we have so many other services that go around that, we offer you that credit repair service for free. Okay. And then here's the thing. If you have a spouse and they have challenged credit, you and your spouse can come into our program for the same price.
Okay.
You can get your credit worked on at the same time.
Okay.
And then you also have in our portal, you have so many other different services that go along with that. We have life insurance.
Okay.
We have land and investment banking.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, we have Legal Shield. We have attorneys to help you with your taxes.
Okay.
We also have CPAs, and they can go back and look at taxes that you have filed already to make sure that you've gotten all the deductions or whatever that you're entitled to. And they can go back as far as 3 years. So when I say we are a full-fledged financial education company, that is exactly what we are. So we help increase your credit.
Okay.
And we help to multiply your money.
I like that part. I want to make some money. Okay, you've got the insured increased cash hour. What's that?
So we have a program, and it helps to increase your cash flow. So if you are a W-2 employee, you fill out your W-4 form. Okay, that is a tax form.
Okay, hold on. W-2, W-4, W-9s, what are those?
So those are tax forms that we fill out when we go and let's just say we do our onboarding process with one of our employers. That tells what is going to be deducted. You claim your deductions, how many kids you have. You fill that form out. So we don't always fill that form out correctly. I know that I didn't before I got to to the company that I'm in right now. So with that W-4 form, if it is filled out incorrectly, you could be having more money taken out of your check than needs to be, than is legal. We don't know that. And so with that being said, you're looking to the end of the year like, oh my God, I'm going to get all of my money back when I file my tax return. Well, why would you wait to the end of the year if you can get that money back week to week? Like, wouldn't you like to see a couple extra $100 in your paycheck per week? That is one of the forms. We have you upload that to your portal. We take a look at it. We had one instance where a lady got an additional $400 a month in addition to her income. She was a W-2 employee just because she didn't have that form filled out correctly. If you don't know, you don't know. And we exactly.
Okay. You're talking about the portals. I know of a lot of young people who are using these phone apps. Do you recommend that for the younger generation, or?
Let me just say, for the sake of the digital footprint, I'm not comfortable with it. Like my kids are like, Mom, you should just be tapping and paying and swiping and going. But it is where we are.
Okay.
And so in order for you to stay up with modern technology right now, everybody is swiping.
Yes.
Password, even having something password protected, is not always ensuring that you can't be hacked.
Okay.
What I tell you is I still get paper copies for my bank statements coming.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And a lot of my twins are always like, Mom, that's so antiquated. But I can't tell you how many times I went through my bank statements at the end of the month and caught a double charge to DTE or a double charge to the cable company, or my cell phone bill overcharged me. And I was able to go back and call them and say, hey,
yes,
you took too much money here. I need you to credit me that back.
Right.
So I just always say, to be that educated consumer, it's always good to go back and take account and look over your bank statements. Or even if you do the tap and pay, they send you, Apple has a ledger.
Okay.
You can go back and check that Apple ledger at the end of the month.
Okay.
Always stay abreast of that.
And a lot of people are not backtracking or keeping abreast of what's actually, they don't, I spent this and I spent but I don't know how much I spent. And they're not really keeping track of what they're spending or even how much is coming in.
Exactly.
So we've got to really, that's why you're here, right?
Write it down. Write it down. Write it down. I am old school pencil and paper.
Okay.
I still write it down. Okay. I still have a legal pad, and at the end of every week, I'm like, okay, let me go back and look. Okay, I spent this, I did that, I did this, I did that. Even when I get a deposit or I get a check or something, I'm like, okay, this is going to be allocated to that, and this is going to be allocated to that.
I want my viewers to understand that it's important for you to take control and not release it. It may take some work, but it is worth it. It's improving your lifestyle, your increase in funds coming in, your knowledge of what's going on. It's like we need to be aware of this.
We absolutely, because there are some times where you can go back over the month and take a look at that statement and say, did I actually really need to spend that much? I mean, I've got it down to even like coffee. I love Dunkin' and Tim Hortons.
Yes.
But I went out and bought a coffee maker and bought coffee.
And it's saving you some money.
And it is saving me some money. And you never think about little things like that, like how much it can actually cost you.
Okay.
And so where you used to get it every day, you can say, okay, on Saturdays, I'll treat myself. Or like a gym membership. I mean, there are so many things that we spend money on. Okay. Snacks at the gas station, chips here, candy bar there. And you can go back and say, did I actually need that? Okay. And you'd be surprised when you see the debits and the credits at the end of the month, the things that you can say, I don't need that, and the money that you would be able to save.
She has been a very interesting guest, and we're going to have to I'm going to put up her information so that you can contact her and get some more questions answered, because I ask a lot, but she can give you some more answers that are very appropriate. So I thank you for tuning in to The Total You with my guest, Ginger Humphreys of Jack's Financial Services.
Thank
and she's
you.
been around enough to give you some very sage advice. And I don't know about you, but I've been enjoying this because I am very pro people getting in control of their finances and knowing what they're all about. So please stay tuned to The Total You at 7 every day. I welcome you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.